Greetings, comic book men and comic book women. That's right, Longbox Cast is back. We were on hiatus for a bit because this guy decided to get his own Batcave finally. But tonight we are recording episode number 44, air on April 8th and is recorded on April 6th. So, of course, if any news updates hits us and we don't have it on the show, you know why. Kyle and I are going to talk about what happened this week with Flash. I've been hearing a bunch of stuff. They have dropped on that, so that's going to be good. A lot of stuff happened there. We also have Walking Dead finally finished up their season and also teased the next series of The Walking Dead will be coming. I finally watched the first episode of iZombie, so another thing I need to catch up on. We'll talk about new stuff about Age of Ultron because I know they released another new trailer today. Nothing really too added to it, but we'll do touch upon it. Of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sequel does have their Casey Jones. We'll talk about that, and also a bunch of other stuff that is coming as spinoffs from Arrow, Flash, and also big news for the Deadpool movie. So sit back, relax, put us on, and let Kyle and I take you to the land of comic books. Watcha! Greetings, kiddos. It's Steve-O. Yes, I showed Kyle a little bit of my place. I will be taking pictures of all my nerdness stuff that has been going up so far. I just remember I have a bunch of Todd McFarlane action figures that are going up, so we'll do that. And this week has been pretty hectic, and I'm still unpacking, so that's what's going on with Steve-O. Of course, before we do everything, because I'm all over the place, people, you can find us on 4iRadio.com, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Zune Marketplace, BlackBerry Podcast, Blueberry Podcast, Miro Guide, Double Twist, YouTube, Swell Radio, SoundCloud, and Player FM. Of course, our podcast is brought to you by Revenge Lover Designs, illustrates and designs that fit your personalities. For samples and inquiries, visit revengelover.com. And also, we're brought to you by, well, not brought to you by, but we're a proud supporter of the nonprofit organization Comic Care. Go to their Facebook page, which is just www.comiccare.org, and Comic Care is one word. Go ahead and check them out. It's a nonprofit organization that takes your old comic books. So if you have a bunch of comic books, you're like, I don't know what to do with them. I don't want to trade them in because I'm not going to get anything for them. eBay scares me or something like that. You want to donate to a great cause, go ahead and take them to Comic Care. They'll go ahead and they take your comic books and they give them to kids in the hospital. So kids, while they're in the hospital, have something to read. So not only are kids learning, but they get visited by their favorite superheroes from all the cosplays that show up. So go ahead, check out their Facebook page, give them a like, and of course, May is coming up soon. I don't know if you guys do it. I know we do it out here in May at some time. Free Comic Book Day. I want to say that's nationwide. So yeah, that's coming up in May. So maybe you'll get some free comic books, and maybe you're like, you know what? These are cool comic books, but I don't really want them. Donate them to Comic Care. So definitely check them out.
We're also brought to you by Fantasy Escape Comics, Cards, and Collectibles. You can find a lot of comic books, a lot of toys, a lot of cards. If you like Magic the Gathering, if you like Yu-Gi-Oh!, if you like anything that's relevant right now, I'm sure they've got it. They got Magic tournaments going on every Saturdays and Sundays. You can check them out on eBay if you're not in the Virginia Beach area. You can look up the user ID 50Batman. That's 50BATMAN. Again, that is Fantasy Escape Comics, Cards, and Collectibles. And you can check out their website at fantasyescape.com.
Speaking of, I'm going to show Kyle this. He'll probably get angry with me, though, because when I found this.
Why would I be angry?
Because it's Batman. You don't like Batman. But watch this. Kyle's only going to get the joke, so sorry, people, for this, but check this out. Dark Knight Rises. I'm a little loopy.
For those who, obviously, everyone who's listening to this right now, basically he just took the Batman action figure, lowered it down underneath the camera screen, and then raised it up, i.e. Batman Rises.
Actually, if we start getting the one stuff soon, I have to figure it out, but we might be doing some video podcasting, where like we'll have the podcast and people can watch the video of live shows and stuff like that. So maybe we might give the fans some treats with that.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I just had to figure out what app. Matthew found an app, Socially Awkward, that we've been trying to use or whatnot. So, but anyways, without further ado, Kyle, since everybody knows what I've been doing is moving and all that random stuff. Kyle, what have you been up to? Because we had a week off. Thanks to Kyle for letting me take a week off to pack and move and do all that stuff. What have you been up to, my friend?
Oh, not much. Just celebrated 6-month anniversary with the wife this past Saturday.
Ooh.
Yes. It's been 6 months.
So did you guys do something fun or?
We went to art museum the day before, and we got to go check out. They had a video game gallery, basically, history of video games and whatnot.
I did that the other year when it was here.
Nice. Yeah,
it was really
pretty cool. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that they did not have any handheld gaming. It was all just console-based gaming.
You know what? That's actually something I did bring up too when I was doing Arcade Bros, because I took a bunch of pictures for that, and I was kind of like, oh, where's the evolution of the the handheld games and stuff? Because I was really hoping to see some of the Game & Watch stuff.
Yeah.
Before they brought over into the Game Boy and everything like that, and my cat is not helping me. He's like dragging his tail and stealing my cord to the thing. So if you do hear him in the background, that's why. People, if you haven't noticed, I do have a cat.
No, you're fine. I got a cat in the room too, so it's all good.
But that's cool. What was like some of the cool stuff console-wise that you either you remember or some consoles you didn't even know they had?
I mean, I knew about all the consoles that they had, but I mean, the one that really just took me back wasn't actually until PlayStation 2, believe it or not. I didn't really get into console gaming until then. I always wanted an N64, but when I asked my parents for an N64 for my birthday, they got me a PlayStation 2. I was very upset, but I mean, in the end, I'm still happy about it.
I will say this: PlayStation 2 at the time I thought was actually probably the best console.
Mm-hmm.
When it came out, when it was competing with the very first Xbox, and then when it was competing with the Nintendo GameCube, I thought PlayStation 2 was a really good system. That's why PlayStation 3, I expected really good things from them, and this is just my opinion. I think PlayStation kind of burned us with PlayStation 3, where they promised all this stuff and great games, and it took them forever to finally get exclusives, for the first year.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I've been a little weary. I mean, of course, I will be buying a PlayStation 4. It's probably going to be an early birthday present to myself, but to have all of the consoles. But
nice.
Yeah, no, I hands down, absolutely. If actually I can get my hands on a PlayStation 2, I absolutely would love that, because I actually do have a couple of PlayStation 2 games and a bunch of PlayStation games, so I know I can play them on there. So that's actually another console. Yeah, since I'm starting up my collection again, since I have the Nintendo system again, I'm actually going back and trying to grab some of these old consoles again. If I can get my hands on an Atari, though, I'm set.
Nice. Yeah, and the next day, the day of our anniversary, we went to the aquarium where she works, and they had a special screening of The Little Mermaid in 3D on their IMAX screen, so we got to go check that out because that's her favorite Disney movie.
Oh, that's awesome. And, okay, I'm going to be flabbergasted right now, but wait, your wife works in an aquarium? And I'm just hearing about this now? That's awesome!
Yeah, she's an educator. She teaches the volunteers there, and then she'll also set them up and tell them where they need to go, and show the guests and whatnot how to do things or what things are about.
That is freaking awesome. Okay, so hands down, right now, your wife kind of is kicking ass. So
yeah,
let her know that. So that's awesome. That's God. I never knew anybody that knew somebody who actually worked in an aquarium. That's awesome. It's like knowing somebody. Well, I wouldn't say that because SeaWorld's kind of shit, but. I was going to say, that's like knowing somebody works at SeaWorld or something.
Yeah, but, obviously she loves other aquariums and whatnot, so what we're trying to do now is every year we're trying to go to, a baseball stadium each year.
Oh!
Yeah, so the first year we went to Washington, D.C. and saw the Nationals play, and we got we went to the zoo while we were there, and then we went to Baltimore, and we got to go to the Baltimore Aquarium there, and we went to St. Louis, and we saw the St. Louis aquarium there, so basically she'll let me go to these baseball games once a year, but she has to go to a aquarium.
Actually, you know what? I think that's a fair trade because I think I've only been to I've been to two aquariums. No, three aquariums. I went to one in Florida, which was really cool.
Hmm.
There's one out in Arizona that's like at the wildlife kind of zoo, which is actually a really cool zoo out here. I mean, it's a lot of money to go to, but it's well worth it.
Hmm.
It's all the way in like BFE, but it's like an open kind of thing where like animals kind of roam free and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's
cool.
not so much as a zoo, but then they have a really cool aquarium. And then for whatever reason, our Arizona Mills Mall decided to class it up after it became all kind of ghetto and put an aquarium in it. And it's
Interesting.
cool, but when you go walking in, even the fish look depressed. They're just like, get me out of here.
Wow.
So, but yeah, those are like about probably the three aquariums that I've been to.
Nice. Here we're going to Atlanta, and we're going to see the Atlanta Braves play St. Louis Cardinals, my favorite sports team. And she gets to go to the Atlanta Aquarium, something she's been wanting to do for a long time now. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, awesome. I'm so glad that you and your wife have found each other and are celebrating in really cool ways. It's actually a really cool way. Now I have to, well, I'm probably never going to get married, so. But I will find wenches to take places.
There you go.
But very cool. But enough of everybody. I know most people probably fast forward through all of our personal stuff. They're like, we don't care about you guys. Just talk about the comic. I really don't know. We don't get feedback, so.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about TV shows. So, of course, Walking Dead ended
Yes.
for the season. Long episode, 90-minute episode. A lot of twists and turns. Carol is fucking a badass, apparently. The stuff that I saw, I was just like, don't fuck with Carol at this point. They were trying to figure out what the W's were. I think we got a little
Yes.
reveal of that. So, Kyle, you probably saw the entire episode. So if you want to walk us through, go right ahead. Walk us through.
I'm going to walk you through The Walking Dead. All right. Short notes, because we all know I have a hard time explaining things, so I'm going to be editing
That's okay.
this anyway. So the W's stand for the Wolves. Basically, we finally get to meet two of the people there. I'm sure there's more of them, but they're only going to show us two, and then the whole big story arc with the Wolves will probably happen at the very beginning of the next season.
Okay.
We finally get to see Morgan. He deals with the Wolves. They try to basically just try and kill him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to let that happen." So he uses his Jedi tricks with a frickin' bow staff and just starts like kicking ass.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so if Morgan ever wants to be the new Donatello, since they're kind of short of Donatello in the comic books, Ninja Mutant Turtles, I'm sure he'd be great.
That would be actually kind of cool.
Yeah, Daryl are, still looking for people to join the group of Alexandria, and they spot a guy in a red trench coat, but they lose track of him, and they find what looks to be like a produce warehouse. Where they're like, oh, hey, produce. We can grab some food. We can bring it to Alexandria. It's probably better than bringing an actual human being.
Mm-hmm.
So they open up the crates to see what's in there, and it was a trap.
It's a trap!
Yeah, it's a trap.
Yeah,
So-
no, I remember seeing that. Now, before we dive into that thing, questions arrive with, of course, my mom and watches it. She's like, well, wouldn't you think they've heard the zombies and stuff and the things? But my theory is a zombie, basically, if it gets closed in a space, basically, can't really move around. Basically, it's just rocking pretty much back and forth. There might be a little bit moaning and groaning, but nothing really too much.
Yeah.
And then as soon as pretty much light or any sound hits, that's when they turn and kind of go towards it, going like, oh, what's over here kind of thing. And if they see, humans, then they go to attack it. So that was my theory, because my mom's like, don't you think they would have heard something? I'm like, well, technically, zombies are pretty quiet, actually. It's only when they're in, like, huge herds and walking towards something, that's when you kind of can hear them, like, all that kind of stuff. But if they're, like, in a closed area, it's they're kind of quiet as a mouse almost. So, but yeah, that was a trap, and it was crazy because then I saw the part where they run into the car.
Yep, and they're trying to find a way to just block out the car because they're like, hey, if we can block their view, they won't see us, and they'll kind of start to die down a bit, which was smart because obviously they know this, but they couldn't find anything, and Aaron finds a little piece of paper that says basically it's a trap.
Yes.
So that happened, and back in Alexandria, Rick is dealing with the consequences of beating the crap out of the wife beater. Honestly, I don't even remember his name. I just haven't bothered learning it. So, they're
well, he'll be dead. He'll be dead soon, anyways, right?
Yeah, basically the whole episode is basically just like everyone trying to figure out, like, what do we do with Rick in the group? What do we do with Rick? Should we make him stay? Should we let him go?
Well, what I like about like my kind of theories with everything right now is the fact that it's like these people in Alexandria have no idea what the outside world is like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with Rick what he's doing because he kind of went off the handle. There's probably better ways to approach this. Yes, you do have a wife beater in amongst you, and people are trying to give him a pass because he is a doctor or whatnot. But to me, that's still no excuse to beat your wife and do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's like because they do realize if they do get rid of Rick and their group, Alexandria is pretty much fucked if anybody comes over.
Exactly. And Rick does make a point about that at the end of the episode, so we'll get to that.
Okay.
Basically, so, everyone's trying to figure out what the heck they want to do with Rick. So, meanwhile, what's his name? The priest guy, I can't remember his name, but
Gabriel.
he's like, huh?
Is it Gabriel?
Gabriel. Yeah, that sounds about right. So Gabriel leaves Alexandria, and one of the guards is like, yo, don't you want a gun or something? He goes, no, I got the power of God to protect me. He goes out on his own, and then he stumbles upon a zombie eating a human. So he kind of just, like, alerts the zombie, and the zombie starts coming towards him, and he's like, you just see on his face, he's like, God, why aren't you protecting me? And he kind of comes to finally realize that God's not going to protect him. He's on his own. So he defends off the zombie, thankfully, sort of, and then kills it, and then kills the one dude that was being eaten and got turned into a zombie. So he goes back to camp, and it's getting close to time for where they're going to have like their city council meeting and talk about what they want to do with Rick. And the guard member, he's like, hey, I want to go to this, shut the door for me. So Gabriel walks in. He's still kind of just like, still like, out of this world. Yeah, he's kind of out of it right now. He's like, why isn't my God here to protect me? Why this world, we shouldn't be here anymore. This is, he just doesn't know what to do anymore. So he just takes the door and kind of just like gradually just like closes it, but it doesn't close all the way and doesn't lock. So I'm sure some people can see where this is going if you haven't seen it.
Oh God, I hate Gabriel so much.
Basically, zombies get in, and Rick is looking out the window and he sees that the gate's open. He's like, what the hell? So he goes up to the gate, he goes to get ready to close it, and he notices like some blood and some guts are stuck on like this little part that sticks out. He's like, okay, so there's zombies here. I gotta stop this. All the while like the whole group, like Carol and Maggie, they're all trying to defend Rick. They're like, look, he's a good guy. This is what he did back in the past. Maggie's like, my dad was a great man. He believed in Rick. They're trying to defend him. All the while, the leader of the whole Alexandria, she's like, well, I'm not seeing Rick here, so this isn't looking good for him.
Oh, jeez. So basically, he's saving the town.
Yes, he's saving the town, but it's making him look bad. God. So he finally stops off all the zombies. He grabs one of the walkers and just like he goes into the town. He just throws it into the middle of everyone, scaring the shit out of everyone. He's like, I found one of these inside your walls. Someone forgot to close the gate. And that's when leader chick, she kind of just looks at the gate guy. She goes, get the frick over there. Yeah. Guard that gate and don't let it go. So he's like, you guys need to learn that you are not safe in these walls. Things like this can happen, and they will happen. Not just from walkers, but also from actual people too. If someone sees this place and they want to get in here bad enough, they will get in. So if you want to keep me around here, good, because I can protect you guys.
Okay, yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Yeah, so yeah, no. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, now, side shift back to the whole Daryl and Aaron story. Basically, they're still trapped in the car. Daryl's like, look, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try and distract them. You get out of here and head back home.
Yes.
And Aaron's like, I'm not going to do that. And Daryl's like, look, just do it. He's like, fine. All right. As they're getting ready to do it, all of a sudden, some of the walkers start dying. And it's Morgan, who's beating the crap out of the zombies. So they're all fighting together. They all take out the good batch, and then they get out of there. Well, Morgan, he's like, look, I'm trying to find this place. Can you guys help me out? He shows the map that he found in the church, and it says, Washington, D.C. needs Rick Grimes. Mm-hmm. Well, Daryl sees this, and that's the end of that scene, but you kind of just get a feeling like, Daryl knows what's going on, because I'm sure Rick's mentioned Morgan before, because Rick used to do that whole walkie-talkie back in the beginning of the series. So I'm sure Daryl, it kind of clicks in Daryl's head. He's like, oh, hey, I think I know who you are.
Yeah.
So back at the city council thing, I want to say his name was Sean, was the dickhead, wife-beating porch dick.
See, I don't know if that was Sean or Sean was the congresswoman's son who died.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, the porch dick, as I'm going to keep calling him from now on.
Yeah, call him Porch Dick.
Yeah, porch dick. He finally shows up with a sword, and I think it's Michonne's sword, too. I'm not 100% sure. But he shows up, and the leader's husband goes up to try and stop him. He's like, yo, calm down, man, calm down. Well, when Porch Dick pushes him out of the way, he pushes him, and his sword kind of slides up, slitting his throat.
Oh, no.
So I believe it was Carol who, like, knocked him down to the ground, like, with his arms to his, and everything like that, and leader, she's kind of just, like, all upset. She's holding her husband. She's, like, all upset, and she finally looks up to Rick. She goes, Rick, do it. So Rick pulls out his gun and shoots what's-his-name, and shoots the Porch Dick.
Oh, nice.
And then at the very end, Daryl, Aaron, and Morgan show up, and he's just kind of like, Rick? And they kind of just end it that way.
Oh, okay, so that's the end. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So at least they got Morgan back, so that's good.
Yeah, so no major deaths happened.
Well, they're probably gearing up. Considering how they lost a lot of the main cast this season, they're probably gearing up for next season, which is going to be doing everything with the, what are they called? The W people? What are they?
The Wolves.
The Wolves. Okay. I wanted to call them Wolves, but I was like, is it like Wolfmen, Wolverines, or what? So the Wolves.
No, it's just the Wolves.
And then, of course, if you haven't seen it yet, I know they aired it during the Walking Dead season finale, but they had the teaser trailer, so it said, was it Fear of the Walking Dead it's called?
Yes, the Fear of the Walking Dead. It looks pretty interesting, so we finally get to see kind of like what starts the whole thing.
Yeah, so basically it looks like this one is going to be taking place in California.
Yes, it takes place in Los Angeles.
But it looks like it takes place prior to while, I guess, Rick is in the coma at the time, because when Rick wakes up, that's when all hell is kind of broken loose. Rick wakes up probably like a couple days or a few weeks later, and everything's already kind of happened. So we finally get to see, like, how it started, how it all happened. So I did enjoy the teaser trailer. I thought it was kind of cool. And apparently, according to this one, now I know they only have one season. Most likely it'll probably get picked up for a second season.
It's already picked up.
Oh, it's already picked up for a second season? Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing this, I guess, during the summer. So basically we're going to get The Walking Dead in the fall, this during the summer. So it's kind of going to be like a year-round Walking Dead thing, which is kind of smart for AMC.
Yep.
But what it looks like is this one apparently is going to be tying into The Walking Dead as well. So you want to keep up pretty much with both series. So
yeah, I read an interview with Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, for those who don't know. Basically, he said, you can watch one without watching the other if you want to, but if you want to watch both at the same time, go for it. Because they said, in Fear the Walking Dead, they're going to discover things that people in The Walking Dead haven't probably figured out yet, or they're going to figure things out in a different way that the people in The Walking Dead figured out.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we'll see. They'll probably figure out, oh, hey, this virus is already in us. You don't have to be bit.
Yeah, you just have to die, basically.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll find that out a different way. Eventually it'll tie in.
Now, curious, do you think they're going to bring back people who have died, because this is kind of taking place earlier, and not like main cast people or whatnot, but I meant like, remember the guy from in the first season who basically kind of told Rick when they went to that basically kind of armored up like warehouse, like kind of like the guy looking for a cure or whatnot, and the scientist kind of basically told him like, look, we're all infected with this, it doesn't matter what we do, we're all pretty much screwed or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm sure they might find like another CDC base and whatnot, but as for like characters, I don't think we're going to see much of like characters crossing over, since it's taking place completely on the other side of the United States.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything's possible. I mean, for all we know, the governor could have started out in California and he started making his way over. Because, I mean, we learned that Eugene and I can't remember his name. Abraham, thank you, started out in Texas. So, I mean, anything's possible.
That is true. I forgot about that. So yeah, it will be really interesting. But I think it's kind of cool is that it basically, so kind of we're getting like Walking Dead year round now, which will be very interesting. Now, two things can happen with this. Either it could be a really good thing for everybody, or everyone's going to get bogged down with zombies and be like, I'm kind of sick of zombies now. So we'll see what happens. Of course, iZombie, I finally checked that out, watched the first episode, thought it was great, so I'll definitely check out the other 2 episodes if you haven't watched that. I did like what you were saying, where it does have that comic book feel to it, which is kind of cool, so we'll see what happens with that. And then let's get to was there a new Arrow episode this week?
There was a new Arrow, but honestly, nothing well, some exciting things did happen. Basically, at the end of the last episode, before this, the mayor was shot by an arrow, and it was basically Ra's al Ghul framing Arrow. Oliver.
Okay.
Because Ra's wants Oliver to be the new Ra's al Ghul, but Oliver refuses, so Ra's is trying to make it so this way Oliver has no other choice. He's trying to make the whole city turn against him. So now there's a whole manhunt out for Oliver because Ra's actually kidnaps Detective Lance and is like, look, I know who the Arrow is. He's Oliver Queen. And that kind of starts a whole manhunt actually for Oliver Queen instead of just the Arrow.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. But eventually, Oliver actually turns himself in. He's like, look, I'm turning myself in, but you have to give all my friends full pardons for everything. And obviously, his friends are kind of like, yeah, fuck no. We don't want that. We're sticking with you, man. And he's like, you don't have a choice. You take these pardons and go live your lives. So, at the very end of the episode, Roy disguises himself as the Arrow in green instead of his red suit, and he's like, look, you guys have the wrong person. I'm the Arrow. Arrest me. Release Oliver Queen. And it kind of just ends like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Now, I'm curious about that now. Like, even if Oliver Queen gets, this was kind of, I will say, kind of cool about all the crossovers and spin-off shows now. It's like, because then you could be like, Oliver Queen's in jail. Oh, who busts him out? You could have the Flash bust him out now. So it's like,
that was one of the things. They were saying, like, the whole city has been, like, on complete and total lockdown. There's no way for Oliver to escape. And I'm kind of just over here like, hey, why don't you call your best friend Barry Allen, who can run over water and can get you out of the city really freaking quick. There's loopholes to this whole thing that they're just not going after. Obviously,
they're just not recognizing.
Well, I'm sure they do recognize it. It's just, they can't obviously always rely on the Flash to come in and take care of everything.
Well, they probably won't have to once that one spin-off series comes, because then they'll be all like, oh, now we got the Atom that can bust me out. They got to do that. Actually, that would have been a cool thing if Oliver Queen was locked up, and then to introduce the Atom and to get his own spin-off series and everything. That is like basically have this little thing come into the room and then grow and be all like, hey, I'm here to get you out.
Well, Ray Palmer is already in the show. He's already the Atom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got his own suit. He just can't shrink right now.
Okay.
His suit can fly, so it kind of looks like a Superman merging with Iron Man type thing, if you can imagine that.
Okay.
But the only reason why he couldn't help out Oliver was because when the mayor was struck with an arrow, Ra's al Ghul was trying to attack Felicity, but Ray dodged her out of the way, and the arrow struck him, and they removed the arrow, okay, but he had like a blood clot, so... That happened, but
bad news bears, basically.
Yeah, well, Felicity used like these prototype nanites that that Ray
Palmer, okay.
Yeah, he created. He's like, look, use these nanites in me. They will shrink down the blood clot. It'll be gone, but it may also kill me. I don't know what's gonna happen. Because obviously they're untested, and the hospital didn't want to do it, so Felicity had to like sneak in, inject him, and he was fine. So obviously that's the reason why he couldn't help Oliver escape the city, because obviously he can fly. But now that he's back in action, we'll see what happens, because there's going to be a crossover with Flash and Arrow coming up, I believe, like
before the end of the season.
Soon. Huh?
I said before the end of these seasons wrap up, probably.
I want to say it's next week, but I could be very, very wrong.
Okay, well, I have to hand it down to CW and DC with their TV universe because I think that's just smart on their part, where they're just all like, yeah, we got these characters, let's keep unlike usually when you get like a crossover episode, it's like once in a blue moon, and I know they did one like earlier in the year, which was like that's awesome, and then it's like now they're planning, it's like yeah, let's do another one. It's like that's what the thing I don't get with like. A lot of things that they own all the properties is like you can do these crossovers, so that's what I have a feeling with the Netflix series, which starts next week with Daredevil. Is they're going to introduce Daredevil, which obviously looks like it's going to be a really gritty and kind of dark series, which is kind of cool. So they're kind of actually going, I think, with a little bit of a Frank Miller feel to the Daredevil character in this, which is good. And Netflix, you can't do that because you can get away with a lot of stuff now with the Netflix streaming. And then introducing, the all the other characters that are going to be coming in to get their own series, and then that kind of stuff. So, Marvel has already been doing it, but DC really is doing it very well with their TV series. They just need to get on board with their freaking their movies, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Well, speaking of CW shows and whatnot, obviously we know we're getting an Atom spinoff, which has the Atom. It has Captain Cold. It has the Professor from the Firestorm half, and it has the dead Black Canary, who obviously is still dead. Well, they've added a new character, and if you're familiar with, do you remember when they did the whole 52 comics for the whole year?
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember the Booster Gold storyline with Rip Hunter?
Yes.
They are bringing in Rip Hunter into the storyline.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
Very
he would
cool.
be played by Arthur Darvill, who was a companion to one of the doctors in Doctor Who.
That's right. So he's I'm time traveling here, now I'm time traveling there.
Pretty much. So I think it's an interesting fit. I can't wait to see what happens, but I like the character, so maybe we'll actually get to see Booster Gold eventually.
That, you have no idea how awesome that would be, because I love that character. I think he's just such...
And if they do Booster Gold, maybe we'll get Blue Beetle eventually.
Yeah, that would be freaking cool. I mean, I don't see why not. It's not like anybody owns the rights to these characters, so, I mean...
Right, yeah.
So, it should be pretty... That's what I'm saying. Like, DC, you have it. Just fucking do it,
Yeah. Well, obviously, Rip Hunter is Booster Gold's son, for those who don't know. I'm trying to see what else I can say.
Now, if they do Booster Gold in the series, my two picks for a guy who could play Booster Gold, like in the TV series, I would say Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Or Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion. Hands down, Nathan
That's
Fillion.
what I'm saying. Either those two, you pick those two guys, that would be my casting if you're going to put Booster Gold in any of those things. Those would be the two picks.
Yes. Now, with time travel with them adding the time travel aspect to this whole thing, maybe Rip Hunter's going to go back in time, save Sarah, the Black Canary, from right before she dies, and replace her body with, like, say, something like, or replace her body with a different body or something. I don't know, because obviously she's going to be in the show. We don't know how.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a time travel aspect to it.
Well, I mean, they're already touching upon time traveling with the Flash, so it's not like it's a concept that's just coming out of nowhere and everyone's going like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So
Exactly.
It wouldn't surprise. I mean, that's what I'm saying. People have to realize, like, what I like about this is like these are comics, so anything's pretty much kind of possible. It's like we're not going to sit there and be like, "Oh, that's bullshit." I mean, granted, the comics do give us a reason why this stuff happens. We sit there and go, "Oh, okay, I get it now." But you kind of can do whatever you want, because as long as you base it in this comic realm. So.
Right.
But speaking of time traveling and all these great stuff, I've heard the latest Flash episode was phenomenal. I will watch it. I will watch it after probably we just get done recording this and everything. So, of course, the last episode I thought was crazy. I was like, I can't believe all this stuff happened. So, Kyle, fill us in with the Flash if you just want to give us the big major points dive into it. But enlighten us, man.
Basically, here it is. Mark Hamill is the greatest person in the entire world. His trickster was absolutely amazing. Now, I'm sure you probably figured this out. I don't know, but basically, you know that he plays the original Trickster, and there's a new Trickster in town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, the new Trickster is actually Mark Hamill's son.
Ah.
Well, the original Trickster's son. But he doesn't know that he's his son. So, in the middle of the episode, he goes, "So why did you pick me?" He goes, "Oh, well, isn't it obvious? I'm your father." Yes, so they do a Star Wars line in the episode, and honestly, I think it would have been 10 times better if his son would have been like, "Really?" And the original Trickster just goes and says, "No, I just always wanted to say that, though."
Yeah.
If they had done that, I think it would have been 10 times funnier, but even still, he got away with saying a Star Wars line in the episode. I thought it was genius.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not much else happened. Barry's dad finally found out that Barry is the Flash.
Okay.
Because he went to go save him because the Trickster kidnapped him. So Barry finally saved him, and he revealed himself as the Flash, and he's like, "I'm proud of you," and all that gushy stuff between a father and son.
I wouldn't know. I don't have a father.
Yeah, mine passed away.
Oh, wow. I was just trying to just make a self-esteem joke here.
Anyways, I'll probably edit that out.
Apparently, we just made a downer on the show.
Let's turn it into an upper. So, basically, at the end of the last episode, we saw the Reverse Flash kill the reporter, and so now he's gone missing. Iris is like, "Hey, has anyone seen this guy?" So she's asking Eddie to look into it. She's asking the Flash to look into it. Well, when she told the Flash, obviously being Barry, told her dad, he's like, "Look, if she keeps looking, she's going to get herself hurt."
Mm-hmm.
So they talked it over, and they ended up telling Eddie the fact that Barry is the Flash. So now Eddie's in on this whole thing. He diverts Iris, saying, "Look, the guy, he went away, he met a girl, you know, they ran off together, they're doing this thing on like some deserted island or whatever." So that kind of just led Iris away from the whole thing there. Trying to think what else happened that was major. Barry finally figures out that Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash. He's like, "I don't know how, but Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash." Because Harrison was trying to give him some advice on how to basically phase through a wall. And he's like, "This is how you do it." And he's like, there's no way he could have known how to do that unless he's experienced it himself. He's the Reverse Flash. And we learn how Harrison Wells becomes the Reverse Flash. That there, I'm going to leave a little secret for you.
Yeah, no, I saw some stuff online. I didn't read on it, but they were talking about stuff where basically there was this article that came out that says we should all forgive Harrison Wells for a bunch of stuff that happened, I guess. So, so I will check that out, and most likely Kyle probably within an hour after this podcast will get a text from me going, "What the fuck?" like I always do after I watch The Flash. So,
yeah.
They've been doing a lot of teaser stuff. Apparently, they showed a little bit more of Gorilla Grodd.
Yes, Gorilla Grodd will be showing up later this season, hopefully.
So, which is funny because I remember when we first were talking about him, they said they weren't going to do anything with him.
Yeah, they originally said they weren't going to do Gorilla Grodd, but I think after that first Easter egg in the very first episode, where you see Gorilla Grodd's cage, I think everyone was like, "Oh, you guys got to do Gorilla Grodd, you guys got to do Gorilla Grodd," and they're like, "All right, fine, we'll do Gorilla Grodd."
So, I mean, I'm like, again, like I said, it's like, I don't see why you shouldn't. It's like, we all know it's based off of a comic book, so it's not like we're all going to sit there and be like, "Well, this is bizarre." It's all like, not really. It's like, this is just the Flash universe, and these are some of the villains that he has to fight, you know?
Yeah, so as of right now, that's about it. In movie news, though,
yes,
this ties in, though. Stephen Amell, who plays Green Arrow and Arrow, has been casted as Casey Jones in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel.
So, so that should be interesting. Like, I think he will do a very good performance with it. I like to see what's going to happen, but I'm also kind of curious because it looks like, so not only have they added Casey Jones to the cast, they also have already teased that Bebop and Rocksteady will be in the sequel.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, and then we'll see what other stuff is going to be happening with this new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now I have a feeling this might actually be one of those movies. I'm not going to put too much on it. The first one was, it was a okay reboot. Not
Mhm.
like, I mean, it was great to see the Turtles fight. Of course, I didn't like the fact that we're trying to tie everybody's storyline into like, oh, I knew you when you were like all that kind of
Yeah.
stupid crap. It was awesome seeing Splinter fight. I mean, it is what it is, but I have a feeling the second movie they actually might you would probably sit there and be like, this should have been the first movie kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
but we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously it did enough. It made enough money to them to sign on for a sequel. So.
Right. So there you go. We now have a Casey Jones, and I love it. I think he's a perfect fit. It'll be interesting to see him with long black hair.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, yeah, because he always has the shaved, kind of
Yeah.
going on. But
So
also speaking of movie news, now this came out on April 1st. So when it did hit April 1st, a lot of people were like, "Is this an April Fool's joke? Is this what? Is this anything?" I saw the video. I absolutely loved it. I have a feeling that they are going to do right by this character,
Mhm.
and you actually got to see the suit
Yep.
walking around and stuff like that. But we are, of course, talking about the Deadpool movie. There's a little video online with I keep forgetting the guy's name, something
Mario.
Lopez, Mario Lopez from
Yes.
Saved by the Bell is. Basically, he's talking to Ryan Reynolds up in Canada, saying like, "Oh, the Deadpool," and it's kind of fun how they're joking about it and everything. Like they even bring up the Wolverine movie,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh no, we're kind of going farther away from that character." He's like, "Oh yeah, we're going definitely with a PG-13 kind of thing." And then also you see this guy walk behind Mario Lopez, and you can tell it's like the red suit, and we're like, "Oh no!" Comes walking back with a chair and just knocks him out. It's like, no, no,
Mhm.
no. The movie's gonna be rated R and everything. That so yes, Deadpool finally got the R rating that we all were hoping for.
Yep.
Um, Now so far, like you're an even bigger Deadpool fan than I am.
Mhm.
What so far all the stuff that's going on, you think they're going to be nailing this character perfectly, or
Oh, I have no doubt about it. It's gonna be perfect. Ryan Reynolds is a huge Deadpool fan, and as of right now, he's been sticking true to the Deadpool fandom. He knows that we want what we want. Ryan Reynolds knows what he's doing.
very
And
cool, very cool.
also, there's been a few leaked footage pictures of Ryan Reynolds walking on set with the scarred Deadpool face. So that
Ooh,
should be interesting. It it looks like Deadpool. Like it's kind of hard to see some of the scars, but you can see he's got like a bald head. So he's probably wearing like a just like one of those plastic things to wrap around your head. And yeah, he looks like Deadpool.
very cool. Now this might actually be one of the first superhero movies where his mask probably only comes off maybe once, twice, maybe just to be like, this is what I look like pretty much underneath it. I
I
have a
don't
feeling.
think so. I
You
think
don't think
he's
so?
gonna take it off a couple times.
Well, I mean, but it's not going to be like like in Spider-Man, Iron Man, everything that where it's like their face has to come off because people have to see the actual
Well,
actor's face and stuff like that.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna give us like a bit of an origin in the beginning, or maybe in the middle, or in the end. I don't know where they're gonna put the origin, but
That's true, yeah.
so we'll probably see Ryan Reynolds as as we'll see Deadpool as looking like a regular Ryan Reynolds, and then there'll probably be parts where because Deadpool does this, he'll walk down the street going to go get like a newspaper or a bagel or something, and he'll just be walking in a trench coat with a baseball cap on, and he looks. People walk by him and stare at him because he's got the scars. He looks ugly, and so I have a feeling they'll probably still do that too because they want to. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds wants to get some face time, even though it won't be really his face. He'll be wearing makeup.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, as soon as that picture was released, which also is on my Facebook wallpaper right now, but as soon as that was released, I was just like, okay, they've nailed this so far. So that's what I've been saying. A lot of people are kind of worried, but I'm like, it's very rare when you find somebody who's actually a fan of a superhero and actually gets to play that superhero
Yeah.
because they want to do right by it. So yeah, so awesome stuff. I mean, I can't wait for the Deadpool movie, and I'm surprised that they're leaking like all this stuff and showing us like all this stuff right off the bat, because it's like the movie comes out like next year, and usually everything's really hush hush. But for some strange reason, Marvel has just been like, yeah, we're Marvel, we'll do what we want, just kind of release stuff. So, but yeah, looking forward to that. Now, do you think with Deadpool coming into the movies now, do you think they're going to put him in X-Men franchises as well?
No.
You don't think so?
They're going to keep him separate.
Okay.
Likely. If anything, maybe if they ever do like an X-Force movie with Wolverine, they might put Deadpool in there, but as of right now, I don't see Deadpool showing up in the X-Men. Maybe in the background as like a cameo, as like a quick little joke, but that's about it.
Speaking of Wolverine, apparently Hugh Jackman just came out and said one more time.
Yep.
So, which is kind of weird because he said he wanted to play this character as much as he wanted to, and then play Old Man Logan. So I don't know what to believe at this point.
Jackman is bipolar right now. That's all I gotta say about it. Congratulations to Miguel Lopez, who was our second. Well, actually, he was also our first. He won the Daredevil comic, and he also won the Spider-Man comic book because he was the first one to answer.
Dang.
Yes, I think we posted it, and maybe 5 minutes later, he answered.
Well, basically, thank you, man.
Question was, name the 6 original Sinister Six. And he responded with Dr. Octopus, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, Sandman, and Vulture.
Vulture. Now, does everybody know who replaced Kraven the Hunter after a couple of runs of the Sinister Six?
No.
It was Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin didn't come out till the 90s, though.
Are you sure about that? Because I was just looking at a bunch of stuff, and they said Hobgoblin on something.
Huh. I know Hobgoblin didn't come out until the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought, and then I was all like, why is the internet lying to me?
Because it's the internet. Well, our next contest, which we put up last week, actually on time, and we still haven't gotten responses, so this contest will go on for another week. Basically, this is not on a first-come, first-served basis. The winner will be chosen by both Steve and I on, obviously, now the next show. And our question is, if you had the ability to give other superpowers, what powers would you give Steve and myself?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so we will choose a winner on the show. So we're being honest and whatnot. Whether you're the first person to answer, the second person, third person, doesn't matter. Everyone has an equal chance to win. So
no, I was right. Yeah, sorry, after the short run of the original Sinister Six was Dr. Octopus, Vulture, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, and Sandman. And then the return of the Sinister Six was pretty much everybody but Hobgoblin was part of the group at that time.
Hold on a second. I'm looking this stuff up now.
I'm just trying to find out the year with it, though.
See here. Oh. See, it's saying Return of the Sinister Six in issues number 334 and 339. That's way later in the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was still right.
Yes, you were right, but... Because I was thinking it happened shortly right after the original.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, it wasn't we did the Sinister Six. Kraven didn't work out. We're just inventing a new character for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody who's actually been participating in our contest and stuff like that. And like I said, probably towards the end of this year, since we did hit 150 likes, I will be talking with Kyle. We will be putting together a kind of just this prize pack of just a crazy bunch of memorabilia of comic book stuff and anything I get my hands on, and just throw it in a box. And then we'll have a contest for that, so someone can actually win our first annual long box, basically. And just have a bunch of goodies. And this is just basically listen to a podcast for free. Telling a friend. If you guys enjoy us, if you don't enjoy us, if you want to hear new things or stuff you want to see us maybe add to the show if we haven't done it yet, feel free to. Mm-hmm. But I want to thank you guys all for participating. And we have this one last contest. And Kyle's been coming up with the questions as usual. And thank you, Kyle, for just again, without Kyle, there is no show right now because I've been all over the place, scatterbrained. So I do appreciate everybody's hard work with this.
Yeah, I call this segment "Steve Thanks Everyone."
Oh.
Yes. So, yeah, I believe that's about it. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it. So, of course, we'll be back next week. Of course, Kyle and I, We'll be back next week. This Friday, actually, is the release of the Daredevil TV series
Yes.
on Netflix. So Kyle and I will try to. I don't know if we're going to binge watch the entire thing. If we do during that weekend, then we'll talk about it. If not, maybe Kyle and I will pick like maybe 3 episodes and we'll talk about those.
Yeah, we'll probably talk at least like the first 3 episodes, and we'll just go on from there.
So we'll give you a little insight of Daredevil, if it's worth checking out, if it's not worth checking out, are they doing a good job, are they not doing a good job? I mean, so far everything I've seen of it, I mean, obviously it's a lot better than, I'm not going to say like my opinion of it, but a lot of people might think it's a lot better than the Ben Affleck film or whatnot, but we'll see what happens. And that's about it, so stay tuned for that, and of course, if you want to follow Kyle, where can they find you, Kyle?
Well, you guys can find me on Twitter at Deadpool_Ranger.
Also, of course, we did talk to people from the Power Ranger podcast. That's also on the 4i Radio Network as well. We will be doing a mashup episode coming, I want to say probably maybe towards the end of May, because I know we're gearing up for Age of Ultron. Kyle already has his tickets. I need to see if I can get days off for that so we can watch it and then talk about it. And yes, that will be a spoiler fucking episode. So
Yes.
I'm warning you guys in advance. So if you are planning on seeing Age of Ultron when that episode comes out, we will let you know it is the Age of Ultron episode. So if you did not see it, I highly recommend don't listen to it until after you see the movie, because I don't want to be that person who just ruins it for you.
I tell you what, we'll put spoilers in the title of the episode, so you guys know, don't listen to the episode until you've seen Age of Ultron.
So Kyle and I will give our opinions about that. We'll talk about what this means basically for the Marvel Universe, because this is going to be a huge turning point, I feel, in the Marvel movie universe. Mm-hmm. And also with me, hopefully I'll be getting back into some comics soon, so hopefully I'll have some new comics to talk about in the next couple of episodes, so Kyle and I can get back to the weekly reads and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And, of course, if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at Stephen Mooney Jr. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you like at SMooney Jr. Of course, we have our own Instagram account called LongboxCast. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at LongboxCast as well. And as soon as we start updating it, we do have the website back. I believe it's www.longboxcast.com. Episodes will be posted there, and then I think Kyle and I might start doing maybe some comic book reviews, movie reviews, or even Netflix series reviews and stuff like that as well on there. So I'll track down all that information to give Kyle so he can actually do stuff with the webpage, and so on and so forth. So, I guess that pretty much wraps up this episode, and I guess Kyle, take us away with those magical words.
Longboxcast. Keep calm and longbox.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. Happy late April Fool's Day. Longboxcast. Keep calm. All right, damn it.
Too many issues for a short box, right?
Yes, Longbox Cast. We have too many issues for a short box.
Apparently, we just have too many issues now.
Bye, everyone.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. Oh my God! You know what I totally forgot to talk about?
What's that?
Adam West and Burt Ward are coming back to do a 1966 Batman animated cartoon or movie.
Well, you just mentioned it now.
It's great, kids. We will have another movie. Kyle.
What?
I was just trying to finish off the show. And then you ran away. You're messing with stuff. This is the greatest ending to anything we have ever done.
I agree. Holy G, Batman. Holy G.
Holy kryptonite! I think that wraps that up.
Yeah.